All right, guys, Treadmill Talks, here we are, we're back. We are going through a gold mine because the information in this video is going to be pure gold. See what I did there? So, in this video, there's like this new age term being thrown around called like the maxing. Right? I think the word is so funny, but it's like looks maxing, money maxing. I don't even know what other maxes there are. I don't know how this term came to be, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Charisma maxing. We're going to talk about which kind of, I guess you can call them stats, like what stats should you try to max out depending on what age you are. And you know, this comes down to, it's not just about women and dating. It also comes down to what your actual goal is. Well, kind of. All the goals kind of lead down to the same finish line, right? So I'm assuming that's what people are watching this video for. But it's like, should you money max? Should you looks max? Should you charisma max? Should you like asset max? Who knows, man? Comedy max, like all these maxes, right? What should you focus on? Now, there's multiple ways that you can approach this. The first way would be like, which stats should I max out to get women? What do they want the most? The next one would be, which stats should I max out to have a family? Which stats should I max out for self-fulfillment? And what would not make me the happiest, but what would give me the best quality of life? Now, these answers can change depending on what age range and what stage you are in your life. I can tell you what I did in my life, but I kind of have a good grasp on what people should be doing here. Now, let's first talk about in the context of specifically women in dating. And let's not think about our retirement or our futures for now. Just dating and women for now. In my opinion, so we're going to go back to the start. Most men are like, let's be real, they're like 3 or 4 out of 10s at best on all the maxes, right? They're like a 3 out of 10 on looks, 3 out of 10 on money, 3 out of 10 on charisma, 3 out of 10 on game, fashion, whatever. Like they just have no skills whatsoever. Competency, they're not competent in anything. They're boring, they have no hobbies. Now, the weird thing about our society in 2026 is people, or men I should say, are like taught to hyperfixate on like one stat for some reason, and that kind of doesn't make any sense. Because so when you are improving yourself in a certain field, and this goes for all fields in life, I'm sure you can relate to this. When you first start leveling up a stat, any stat, this goes for video games too. When you first start playing a video game and you start ranking up in the video game, you start at bronze 5, right? You go to bronze, silver, gold, diamond, platinum, etc., whatever, right? It's much easier to go from bronze to silver or bronze to gold than it is from gold to platinum. And so let me actually show you this on the page, on the camera here. So every level up curve looks like this. It's kind of shaky because I'm on the treadmill. But, and then you have rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So you see, when you start leveling something up, the gains are insane. So if you're like a 2 out of 10 on looks, getting a simple haircut or like showering is gonna level you up so much farther than if you're already a multi-millionaire trying to get another $1 million. Do you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to female attraction, your kind of goal is to just kind of be like a 7 out of 10 on everything. So you want to attack the lowest hanging fruit on all like the max. You don't want to be a 10 out of 10 on one thing. You want to be a 7 on all the things, because that would be the highest ROI on your time, return on investment. So if you make $40,000 a year, that's like a 2 out of 10, right? Yeah, you're gonna wanna try and level that up to at least 80,000 or 100,000. $100,000 a year, that puts you at a 7. Then you can focus on your charisma, your bodybuilding, etc. Now, I hope that makes sense how I explained that, right? So there's no point in being a 10 out of 10 male model and then creeping chicks out, or being a rude piece of shit, or being broke. There are some, that's probably the best one to max out, to be honest, because there's always like the broke banjo player on the beach that gets laid, right? But that's also not gonna fulfill you as a man in your life, right? So here's how I would start, and I'm gonna explain why I would start this way. Whether you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, or 50s, whatever, it doesn't matter. Actually, this one doesn't matter for the age range. I would start not looks maxing, but health maxing. And the reason, and that coincides with look maxing to some degree, getting in the gym, lifting weights, and being lean, not being overweight. The reason why is because, well, what was the statistic there? It was like 90% of the population is considered obese or something, or 16 pounds overweight of where they should be. So right away, and we're like, there's more to it than that, but right away, if you hit the gym, which is also coincidentally the least amount of monetary investment, it's a gym membership, protein, creatine, and that's it, right? You don't have to spend like thousands of dollars on a course or anything, right? And all the information is kind of free out there on this topic. So you get in the gym for 6 months to a year. Now, to some people, 6 months might seem like a long time. Bro, you're gonna blink and it's gonna be 6 months, and you'll still be watching these videos, not going into the gym. Like, come on, like, let's be real here, right? So 6 months, you're in the gym, and with that much effort and consistency, you're in the top 10% of men already. Just that. Now, the biggest reason why I would start with that one is because the lessons that you will learn going through a health and fitness journey, getting ripped, building some muscle, researching supplements, delayed gratification. Weight training will teach you that there are no excuses. Like, you can't blame somebody for your lack of progress in the gym. It's just how hard you work. So it's very humbling as well. And when you actually get healthy and start eating healthy, It will change the chemistry in your brain to not be a whiner. It will remove the estrogen out of your system so you won't be a little bitch. You'll be more aggressive. It does a lot of things, man. And then it also makes you more attractive. But coincidentally, you start there, and now all of a sudden, charisma maxing, money maxing, everything, all the other maxes are much easier now to max out. It's much easier to build a business when your brain isn't being poisoned by McDonald's food. It's much easier to be charismatic when people, like men and women, they give you the chance to be charismatic because you're fit and healthy, right? When you walk into a room and you're just not in that 90%, you stand out, right? The bar is really that low, guys. It's that low. You'll feel good about yourself. You'll look in the mirror and you'll be like, damn, I built this. Nobody built this. Nobody can take it away from me, except for maybe the pandemic and then them shutting down the gyms, but nobody can take it away from me. I earned it. No matter what happens, this body that I sculpted is mine, right? It's very, very empowering. So no matter where you are on the age range or the maxing range, if you're anything below a 7 out of 10 on the health max, that's where you start, period. Doesn't matter. Now, that doesn't mean that you only focus on the one max at the same time. Like, you go to the gym and you eat nutritious food, that's like maybe 1 hour a day, plus the meal preps or whatever. You can even say 2 hours a day, right? You still have another 8 hours at your job that you should be trying to figure out how to make more money. You can also talk to people at your job, find out how to be more charismatic. You should be leveling everything up, not at the same ratio or same rate, but everything should be leveling up at the same time, right? Now, why this is important, and you'll find, man, I'm telling you, once you start hitting the gym after like 6 months, you get those newbie gains, you start seeing those gains, you'll be like, your perspective on life will change, man. Everything will seem so easy after that. You'll see what I mean. Now, when it comes to like plastic surgery, hair transplants, like nose jobs, cheekbone jobs, forget all that shit. Doesn't matter. Just get lean. Lean, like the swimmer's body, like the Brad Pitt Fight Club body. It's all you need, man. That's all you need. Now, what that does, now, okay, let's talk about why you don't want to start with money maxing. Sorry, my bottle's just like about to fall out here. Money maxing is good, but the problem that I've found with money maxing, especially in your older years, is money maxing when you first start has a very low ROI in terms of you're going to be spending 16 hours a day grinding your shit and not making any money. And if you don't have the foundation of delayed gratification first, that's going to be very hard on the ego that you're just failing repeatedly and not making money. It's very hard, right? Second, when you actually start making money, it gets pretty addictive. And then you try to keep scaling, scaling, scaling. So you're constantly making more money, but the hours that you're working don't seem to go down. And then that only kind of changes when you're literally a 9 or a 10 out of 10 on money. So the problem is when you start with money, you can get to a 7 pretty quickly, right? 100K a year or whatever. You want to go to like 300 or 400K a year and become like an 8 out of 10 on money. How much more effort do you think that's going to take? Now, like we were saying with the gaming example, going from diamond to masters is going to take you far more hours and skill than going from bronze to gold, right? Even though bronze to gold technically is far more jumps. So you want to be really careful with that money max kind of trap, right? So I've fallen into that trap personally. And what you'll find is that you trying to chase the next number on the money max, so going from a 7 to an 8, you're going to find that your health max, your looks max, your charisma max, and all those other stats, they're going to either plateau at a 4 or 5 because you just don't have time to do them. You don't have time to focus on them. And then every time you're trying to focus on them, you're thinking about how much money you could be making because you're not working, right? So then you get into this time cost analysis trap where you're like, if I go out and meet women, I'm not making money. And making money is a very easy, tangible goal, logical goal to achieve. It's like you have a measurement of success when it comes to money. 100,000, 200,000, you doubled your success. You go out and you meet women, or you're in the gym, right? You might gain 1 rep after like 2 weeks. That sucks, that's hard, right? That's why everyone goes on steroids. Or you go out for a month and you meet like one girl that's just not a disaster or a train wreck. Yeah, it's a very difficult measurement of success when you go the other way, right? That's why a lot of guys tend to focus on money way too much, right? Now, the problem is when you do money first, and this is critical, this is kind of this is the point of this whole video. When you money max first, you will never experience what genuine desire feels like from a woman. You will never understand what it's like to have a woman that just wants to be with you. When you money max, you're going to become a prey. Like predators will target you, right? So if you're an 8 out of 10 out of money, 4 out of 10 on looks, charisma, comedy, lifestyle, like vibes maxing. Like if you're just like a weird dude and you're boring as shit, very logical, think about it from the woman's perspective. She goes out on a date with you and you have nothing to offer her but your money. She doesn't want to. What is she there for? She doesn't want to jump your loins because you have money. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't even make the girl laugh. She doesn't even get aroused at your figure. Like nothing, dude, right? So money is a very, very poor trap, man. And I'll tell you, if you get to like a 7 or like $100,000 a year, whatever, you get your 6 figures. Just stop there for a while until everything else is a 7 out of 10. Essentially, the goal is, the reason why you want to prioritize health maxing, the reason why I call it health maxing is because you would never do steroids or sketchy ass supplements or surgery, you would never, the line that I draw is I would never do something unhealthy for the sole purpose. A hair transplant maybe, that's not really unhealthy as long as you do it the right way, right? With like the selective root, whatever, from the back of your head. I think that's fine, but other than that, anything that's like hormonal based or pills or surgeries where they like break your legs and extend your legs and all that shit. What, like, you know what I'm saying? Like anything involving that, that's where I draw the line. Like doing that stuff for a sole purpose of finding a mate is, no, that ain't it, man. It's not that serious. Now, the reason why I health maxing, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, you're never gonna have more money than a guy in his 40s that's been grinding money. He's been trying to money max the entire time. So you're never gonna win that battle, right? Now, what did we say earlier? 90% of men are obese. So if you're just not that, you're in the top 10% right away. Now the goal here, when you're health maxing, is to actually discover what it feels like to just have a woman being attracted to you naturally and organically. You want to do that first. The reason why, you're going to need those skills. You're going to need to know what that feels like when you are wealthy. So that you can, for multiple reasons. So that when you are wealthy, you can hide it and you can still display those characteristics of a attractive, charismatic, funny guy. And then you never have to actually use your money or show your money. The whole goal of this entire video is to help you, prevent you from being prey from a snake, okay? Never, ever, ever lead with money. So, I would say, again, if you're in your 20s or 30s, start with the gym, then start watching comedy specials. It's as simple as that, man. Start watching Dave Chappelle, start watching Louis C.K., start watching the best comedians of all time on Netflix so that you learn sentence pacing, so that you learn how to drop jokes at the appropriate time, so that you just learn like a comedy structure, right? And you'll find it's almost gonna be subliminal, where you just keep watching that content as you're going to the gym. Also, it's just fucking hilarious. So you're just gonna be happy watching that content anyway. So now you're happiness maxing, right? Laughter maxing. So you watch that content, you're gonna notice that when you're actually socializing with other people, your brain is going to drop jokes out of nowhere. And you'll be like, damn, did I just say that? And it's gonna be, when you experience that, it's gonna be the most surreal experience of your life when it happens the first time. Because you're gonna be like, oh my God, everyone actually laughed at my joke. And it's gonna make you feel so good because you made others feel good, right? So anyway, looks, charisma, comedy. That's what you wanna do. The reason is, you get respect on the looks, you get the physical attraction. The physical attraction opens the door for a woman to allow you to be charismatic. Then you're charismatic, you're in the top 1% of men. When I say top 1% of men, the reason why I say that is because most guys don't even try. Like, literally, like it's just go to Costco or Walmart, man. Go to Costco, go to Walmart, and just look around. You won't see a single guy that actually has a nice haircut or looks good. Or actually, hell, you won't even see a single guy that doesn't look miserable. Like that's the bar. Like the bar is, it's crazy out, dude. Dude, it's like fish in a barrel out here. If you just put in a little bit of effort, you know what I'm saying? Now, does that mean that looks, status, and money don't matter? To a point. To a point. They're just door openers. The one that you really want to max out, you know, it's funny. I guess it depends. If you're a cold approacher, or if you like to be anonymous, the one you want to max out is comedy and just making the girl feel good and laugh. If you are in a social circle, then status is more important, really. You could be a boring ass dude, but if everyone perceives you as like the king of the circle, then that's actually more important. So it depends on what context you're in, right? I prefer the cold approach one, just because that one will teach you more. But then we'll save that for another video. Yeah, well, the next video we'll talk about which style of dating maxing should you max out first, right? Because they all teach you different skill sets, right? But anyway, that's kind of how, just to wrap this up then. You're at a 3 to 10 on all levels. Start with fitness. Get that to a 7. And then again, when you get to a 7, that's kind of good enough, because going to an 8 or a 9 involves steroids. You stop it there. It's not that serious. Women don't even like that shit. You get to a 7, money to a 7. Then, let's say you're at the point where everything is a 7, and it's like, what do I work on now? Charisma, social status, and social media influence. It's like the final boss, right? You get like, so try to like, because the reason why is when you get to a 7 out of 10 on all the things, charisma becomes the most important, because charisma will level up all the other ones, except for health, but it will level up all the other, well, kind of. So if you're at 10 out of 10 on charisma, now you can be a social media influencer. Now you can make your own ads. You can influence others to buy your product, which makes you more money, which makes you more influential, which gives you social status, which raises your income and attract. Then you can afford better supplements, more organic food. Organic chicken is twice the cost of regular chicken. You know what I'm saying? There's almost like a psyop or like a conspiracy there, but now you can afford the organic chicken. Now you feel better. Now you feel even better. Now you can be even more charismatic. Do you see how the upward spiral never stops? It never stops, man. I'm telling you. It's when you are in that upward spiral, you are a machine that can't be stopped, dude. Then 5 years goes by, 10 years, you're a 10 out of 10 on everything, and you can do whatever the hell you want on this planet. Anyway, guys, hit the subscribe button if this helped you. Share it to your bros if you found the information valuable. Help them out with this video. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. And with the next one, we'll talk about the which game style should you max. All right, later, boys.